Welcome everybody. My name is François Letarte, and this is my channel D30, a channel about tabletop role-playing games. Today I'm going to do the second part recap of an advanced fighting fantasy game I ran on Google Hangout this week. You can check out the first part, which is there on my channel. This game takes place in Black Sand, the famous city that was first introduced in the City of Thieves fighting fantasy gamebook, and featured Sameoldji as a mage, a chaos mage from the south, Finn, played by Nolinquisitor, an elf drifter, and a lady played with us called Virginie, who played Bunny Big Belly, a dwarven female who likes to cook. So, if you have saw the first part, you know that Finn and Bunny just want to fight against the two pirates that came from the Bite Sea, a boat that is ashore on the dock, and the fight took place in the front of the drunken fishermen. So they did want the fight, and other pirates from the Bite Sea saw that and wanted to have revenge. So these 6 more pirates came out from the boat, and they were running on the dock, pushing people and barrels around. It was quite a crowded dock, so but they wanted to fight Bunny and Finn. And well, Bunny and Finn were ready. Finn was with his 2 weapons, and Bunny waited with her stove. Yeah, a big stove, something to cook fish with, but this time it was to hit pirates. And the fight began, and Bunny hit a pirate with the stove and then took her axe and continued the battle. It was a very fast battle. Bunny and Finn did quite well, took some blows, but were able to get the upper hand on this combat. All the while, Cyclodak was inside taking a drink and having fun with the fishermen, but the fishermen were torn apart, watching the fight just in front of the tavern, and watching this strange man who was constantly changing appearance. It was subtle, but that's what the Sameoldji did with Cyclodak, because he's a chaos mage, and he wanted to play some kind of a chaos phenomenon with him. He was always mutating a little. His tattoos were moving a little, and it wasn't big stuff, but it was just enough for the fisherman that was taking a drink inside to watch and find that strange. And all the while the fight was going outside, Cyclodak saw someone in the stairs of the tavern, someone who was just in the middle and trying to watch, what's going out inside. It was a hooded figure. And Cyclodak was watching him and heard someone else upstairs who was talking to the hooded figure and said, "Hey, I know the word, it's infusion, infusion." So infusion, Cyclodak was quite interested by that, because the triacontaèdre, the object he's searching for, the real name is triacontaèdre infusion. So he yelled at the man in the stairs, "Hey, come on, I want to talk to you." But the man didn't. The hooded man turned his back and go get upstairs. Cyclodak wanted to stop him. He got himself a flute. He was having that in his equipment, and started to play the flute and cast a spell that would make dance the man. But the man succeeded in some way, something that looks like saving throws in Dungeons and Dragons, but the same thing in Advanced Fighting Fantasy, and decided to run away because he didn't want to get caught. Cyclodak decided to pursue, and he entered a room with an open door, and in the room there was an open window. And Cyclodak saw a dwarf that was sitting on the floor, and he has been stabbed. He was holding his wound. He was screaming, "Chris, you're just a bastard!" Cyclodac checked out in the window and saw the hooded figure run away, so he decided to pursue and jumped up the window. Well, he did hurt himself a little, but yeah, he got up and well, he lose the trace of the one he thinks is called Driss. So he decided to get back to the tavern, not taking care of the dwarf, to take a drink. The battle with Finn and Bunny was going quite well, but the city guards were coming. They had been alerted, and also they saw someone on the Bitesy boat, someone stranger, a, a black woman, a human, was beginning to make some strange gestures. So Finn and Bunny did beat the pirates, but they didn't want to get between this strange woman and the city guards, so they decided to run away. And they did a good move because the woman cast a spell which made some water from the river come up and rebound on her hand, and rebounded and being thrown away at Finn. Finn dodged his way behind a barrel. The barrel exploded by the blast of the water that came from that spell. So they ran away behind the drunken fisherman tavern. Cyclodac, while making his way back to the tavern, has been hooked by gang members, street gang members who wanted to rob him. He played his flute, they began to dance. The city guard arrived, arrested the pirates, and arrested the gang members all at the same with the same pace. Also, Cyclodac, when he was beginning to get back to the tavern, he had to go around the tavern, saw that woman, that strange woman on the boat. He saw her, cast her spell and splashing a bolt of water. He didn't saw that it was aimed at Finn because where he was, he couldn't see that. He just could see the woman doing that. But it didn't really care because he wanted a drink. He wanted to do the party. So Bunny and Finn, no one were after them. So they got yeah, they while thinking what they were going to do, they heard the same dwarf that Cyclodac saw scream, "Driss, you're just a bastard!" So yeah, they know about Driss. Is the man who works for Balabar. So they were interested in that. They approached the place where the windows was open. The dwarf was there holding his wound, and they talked to him and decided that it was was enough of interest to get there and talk to him. So they made their way, sneaking their way into the tavern, and they hooked Cyclodac while they were going there, and got to see the dwarf. The dwarf is called Skotan, and what he was doing there, well, Driss brought to him some kind of a parchment with a strange symbol on it and asked Skotan to try to translate it. Skotan said that Driss was having some kind of a metal book, so he had the Orogar's code that he robbed from Bunny in the first session. So he didn't manage to really translate it. Yeah, he translated the infusion, but he got angry at Driss, and Driss stabbed him. All the while they were talking to Skotan, well, Cyclodac didn't felt well. He got sick in Skotan's room and tried to cast a spell on him and didn't work. But while doing that, the tavern owner came. Someone came with a message for them and gave him to the owner. And the owner came to the room and gave them the message. Balabar wanted to meet them in the public garden of Black Sand. That was the message. So Cyclodac, Finn, and Bunny decided to go right away in the garden because they wanted to finish this all. And they got straight there, going through the city. When they arrived, Cyclodac was on the front and nothing was going to stop him. He really did want to meet Balabar. When they entered, the garden master was there and asked them for a prize to enter, and Cyclodac just take a big bag of gold and gave that to him. And he entered the garden screaming the name of Balabar and removing his jewels because he was going to do some kind of a spell. He was preparing something, and Balabar was hidden in that garden. There's a lot of trees and flowers, many places to hide, and he was saying to them, "I want to make a deal with you. I have the map, and you have someone who may read it. Your dwarf may read it, so we could split." We could split the treasure. Well, Finn did want to fight Balabar. Bunny too. And Cyclodac, still screaming the name of Balabar, cast a spell that made him grow. Made him grow, and he was double his height. He became some kind of a giant. He wanted to find Balabar and, well, get him make him afraid. When he did that, he saw that Driss was in a tree with a bow. And Driss didn't hesitate and shot Cyclodac with the poison arrow. And that arrow, damaged enough the Cyclodac so that he got to technically 0 stamina and was not unconscious but enough in pain to not be able to do much. Something you have to know about Cyclodac and his magic: he's able to cast sorcery spells. In Advanced Fighting Fantasy, in the Fighting Fantasy series, sorcery spells are fueled by stamina points, and he did some spells of this sort, so he was quite low in his stamina. Even if he was a giant, he didn't have much points left. That's why he fell down on only 1 arrow. So sorcery spell is quite dangerous to use because it takes its toll rapidly. Bunny saw Driss in the tree and began to run with her axe, and she wanted to axe the tree to make it fall down. And Finn did want to get face to face with Balabar. All the while, the strange black woman that was on the boat got to the garden too and began to make some kind of magic. She was aside a pond, and the water became a mist. And this mist was pushed by a magical wind she did cast too. So there was some mist around this garden, and that made the visibility was not as good. So there were more hiding places with the mist and the trees and the flowers. The mist came around the garden. Then Bunny, while trying to make the tree fall, got Driss on her back because he jumped on her and he pinned her on the ground. So there was kind of a wrestling match, kind of. Finn saw through the mist something move, saw someone move, and he decided to pursue. And he got to a place in the garden where there wasn't that much mist, so you could see what was going on. There was some kind of a fountain with a strange flower, and the fountain was surrounded by bushes trimmed to look like lions. And behind that fountain was one of the pirates of the Bite Sea, someone Finn didn't really know. And the pirate with his sword just, touched the flower and ran away. Before Finn could pursue, the bushes, the lion made in bushes, began to move and wanted to attack Finn. This monster is called the Leaf Beast. There were 3 of them. So Finn began to run in the mist, trying to distance the Leaf Beast, and managed to do that. But in the end of his run, he was ambushed by two pirates, including the one who touched the flower, and he had to fight them both. And he was able to beat them both too, because Finn is quite a good swordsman. Bunny under Driss, tried to push him around, and she had a hard time doing that because Driss is quite a nasty fighter with poison, but he didn't use poison right now. Well, he didn't have the time because one of the leaf beasts was wandering around in the park and got behind Driss, so it decided to attack Driss. So Driss had another problem, a leaf beast against him. And another leaf beast came near, so Bunny had to fight a leaf beast too. So it became a three-way fight. Bunny fighting leaf beast and Driss fighting. There were three parties here. Cyclodac was quite in a bad shape, but the gardener, the master gardener of the place, since he had lots of money from Cyclodac, decided to see what was going on because he knew that some kind of a fight was going around the garden. So he decided to search the garden and found Cyclodac in a bad shape. And since Cyclodac gave him lots of money, he didn't hesitate to try to heal him. He had some kind of small potions, and he was able to stabilize the stamina loss from Cyclodac. So Cyclodac was enough in shape to get on his feet and try to see what was going on. The leaf bees were beaten by Bunny and Driss, and they had to fight each other. That was quite a wild fight. All the while, after that Finn beat both pirates, Balbar came out and said to him, "Okay, you don't want to deal with me, so you'll have to die." Balabar is a very dangerous and a good swordsman, and he was looking Finn in his eyes. They were both looking in his eyes, and they were walking around each other like that, looking in their eyes and touching their sword, trying to study the enemy. Cyclodac arrived when Bunny was able to beat down Driss with her axe. She did a very nasty cut in Driss, so he wasn't able to fight anymore. And well, Driss tried to taunt Bunny by saying that, I'm the one who killed your brother, and he was really in pain and all that. So Bunny was even more angry, and well, she decided to get a rope and attach, Driss to make him a prisoner. The Cyclodac arrived at this moment, seeing that Bunny was doing quite well, decided to search for Finn. The black woman did get out. She was afraid of the situation and looked quite tired, so she didn't want to get involved in that. The mist was beginning to get away. Cyclodac found Balabar beginning to fight Finn. It was quite a hell of a fight. So Cyclodac decided that he wanted to cast a spell, the Zap spell. It's a very powerful spell, kind of a lightning bolt. And he was describing himself, his belly was going fatter because he wanted the Zap spell to come from his belly. And yeah, well, he missed his roll. So he spent enough and stamina point to get himself in the minus, So he was really unconscious this time. It was unfortunate because Sameoldji, with his character, really tried to do something special, and everything he did was quite well described and all the such, and the spell casting, how it did it work. It was quite inspiring, but unfortunately, the dice won't lie, and if you roll bad, That's it. You can't do more. So he came unconscious. But okay, Finn was fighting Balabar, and Finn did have a hard time against Balabar because Balabar is a very good fighter, and he was gradually taking the upper hand over Finn. So Finn was quite in danger. But Bunny did arrive and swing her axe at Balabar, and yeah, she was quite lucky. Balabar it did hurt a lot. They managed to beat Balabar. Bunny and Finn have beat Balabar and killed him. Just before he dies, he watched Finn and said, "You know, we'll see us in hell," and died this way. Skotan, the dwarf that was wounded in the drunken fisherman tavern, uh, finally got to the garden. He wanted to see what was happening, and he wanted his revenge against Driss, and was satisfied to see that Driss was beaten. Finn finally did finish Driss. He wanted him dead. He wanted him dead. So the gardener too saw Cyclodak and got to his cabin to come back with a potion, but this potion was far more efficient. So Cyclodak was fully healed. It's a magical potion. So they began to search Balabar and Driss to see if they were having the famous map. And they didn't find the map, but Balabar had 2 mirrors and a shaving blade. And Finn figured out immediately where the map was, and he began to shave the head of Balabar to see that the map was tattooed on his head. So the map was there. He took his blade and made a scalp out of the skin of Balabar's head to keep the map. So they had the map. They have beaten Balabar and Driss, and they had the map in hand, which was quite a victory. So a big cutscene. They are back in the Hemlock Tavern, the place where Bunny works and lives, and they took time to rest and think about what was coming, because the map, Bunny managed to decode it because she has some knowledge from her lost brother Benny, who showed her how to read it with the book, and she knows that the map is the place where the Triacontad infusion is, and it's under Black Sand in the old city that was called Carsipolis. So up to here they knew what kind of danger they had. They had to fight dangerous pirates. Now they don't know what's waiting for them in the dungeon, and it's probably a very strange and crazy and magic place. But that's where they're going in the next session. My impression of this hangout, from my game master point of view, it went well. The story unfolded in quite a good way. I had many cards in my sleeves just in case the players wanted to do other things, but I didn't have to use them because once they got the message from Balabar, they just got directly there, and they wanted to get done with that. So that was okay. From the player's point of view, well, I'm hoping that Sameoldji is not too disappointed by his missed spell and all the such, because he has such a fabulous character, and I'm looking forward to see him more in the next session. Finn, played by Nolinquisitor, well, I had some kind of a comment about the fumble table in Advanced Fighting Fantasy, because he got in that table a little too much. And that was quite a good comment, because I did think about it, and I will try to find a way to really incorporate fumble and failures more, fluidly, instead of just saying, okay, you fall down. Well, trying to describe a scene where your swords to slash together, but he pushed you down, and trying to make it more lively. And Virginie is a very good player. She does a very believable dwarf. There's not an ounce of anything else. When she does bunny big belly, you see the dwarf in your head, and when she cooks, you almost smell what she's doing. She's quite good, and it was quite a performance. For my part, Google Hangout, I said in the first video that I did prefer real thing when the people was there. It's still the same thing. Google Hangout has a lot of good things to it, but yeah, I feel that I'm more comfortable when the people are there, when I hear their breathing and see their eyes for real, and feel their presence. That makes gaming more natural. But yeah, in order to play with such players such as Sameoldji and Nolinquisitor, Google Hangout is the way to go. And I'm very glad that we could have access to that. So that was the second recap. So the next recap should be about what will probably be the last session of this adventure. It will take place mostly in some kind of a dungeon. So yeah, if you have comments or anything, questions, just leave them, because I will be very happy to answer that to you. And that's all. So see you next time. My name is François Le Tap, and this is my channel JDR D30. So up to next time, I hope you have as much fun in your life as in your game.